Gentlemen, are you ready for some tough love? In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 lessons that men should learn. And trust me, they might hurt your feelings. But hey, sometimes the truth hurts, right? So grab a seat, put your ego aside, and let's dive into it. As men, we have been taught to adhere to certain societal expectations of what it means to be manly. These expectations include being strong, emotionless, and always in control. But what happens when these expectations start to limit our growth as individuals and hinder our relationships with others? In this video, I want to challenge these societal norms and share 4 lessons that I believe every man should learn. These lessons are not easy, and they may make you feel uncomfortable, but they are essential for your personal growth and for creating healthier relationships with the people around you. So, whether you are a man who is just starting on his journey of self-discovery or someone who has been working on himself for years, these lessons will be valuable to you. We will explore topics such as vulnerability, consent, toxic masculinity, and objectification of women. By the end of this video, my goal is for you to walk away with a new perspective and a willingness to challenge traditional gender roles and stereotypes. So sit back, relax, and get ready to learn some hard truths about yourself. Remember, it's okay to feel uncomfortable, but it's how you respond to that discomfort that will ultimately define your growth as a person. Let's get started. Lesson 1. It's okay to show vulnerability. Men are often taught from a young age to suppress their emotions, especially vulnerability. They are told that showing any signs of weakness or sensitivity is not manly and can make them appear less masculine in the eyes of others. However, this mentality is toxic and harmful, as it leads men to hide their true feelings and suffer in silence. In reality, showing vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a sign of strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to open up about your emotions, and to express your true feelings to others. Moreover, when men allow themselves to be vulnerable, they become more relatable and approachable, which can strengthen their relationships with others. Many successful men have shown vulnerability and used it to their advantage. For example, former U.S. President Barack Obama has talked openly about his struggles with depression and anxiety, which has made him more relatable and human in the eyes of the public. Actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has also shared his battles with depression, which has helped to break down the stigma around mental health in the entertainment industry. If you struggle with showing vulnerability, there are ways to start embracing it. One way is to practice emotional intelligence, which involves understanding and managing your emotions, as well as being able to recognize and empathize with the emotions of others. This can involve things like journaling, therapy, and meditation, which can help you become more in touch with your feelings and learn how to express them in healthy ways. Showing vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that can help men improve their relationships and overall well-being. By practicing emotional intelligence and learning how to express their emotions in healthy ways, men can become more authentic and genuine versions of themselves. Lesson 2. Consent is non-negotiable. When it comes to sexual encounters, consent is crucial. Unfortunately, many men have been socialized to believe that they should always be the aggressor and that it's up to them to get sex from their partner. This mindset not only perpetuates harmful gender stereotypes, but it also puts women at risk of sexual assault and harassment. Consent is not just about asking for permission. It's about respecting boundaries and understanding that no means no. It's about recognizing that each person has the right to control what happens to their own body, and that this control should never be taken away by someone else. It's essential to understand that consent is not just about the absence of a no. It's about enthusiastic consent, which means that both partners are fully engaged and excited about the sexual encounter. If there is any hesitation or uncertainty, then it's not true consent. It's important for men to educate themselves on what enthusiastic consent looks like and how to communicate with their partners in a way that ensures that both parties are comfortable and enthusiastic about the sexual encounter. This includes checking in with your partner throughout the encounter and being open to stopping at any point if one partner feels uncomfortable or unsure. Toxic masculinity perpetuates the idea that men should always be the aggressor and that it's a sign of weakness to seek consent or to back down from sexual encounters. However, this is simply not true. Seeking consent and respecting boundaries is a sign of strength and respect for one's partner. Lesson 3. Masculinity is not a one-size-fits-all. Society has created a rigid definition of masculinity that doesn't allow for individuality or personal expression. From a young age, boys are taught that they need to be strong, aggressive, and competitive to be considered real men. This definition of masculinity often excludes traits that are seen as feminine, such as emotional sensitivity, empathy, and vulnerability. The harm that comes from toxic masculinity is that it puts pressure on men to conform to a narrow definition of what it means to be a man. Men who don't fit into this definition may face ridicule, bullying, or even violence. This can lead to feelings of isolation, anxiety, and depression. Encouraging men to define their own masculinity and embrace their unique qualities is essential. It's important to recognize that there is no one-size-fits-all definition of masculinity. Men come in all shapes, sizes, and personalities, and there is no right or wrong way to be a man. Instead of trying to fit into a narrow definition of masculinity, men should focus on developing their own sense of self and embracing their unique qualities. This could mean expressing emotions, being sensitive, or pursuing interests that are traditionally seen as feminine. By embracing their individuality, men can create a healthier and more diverse understanding of what it means to be a man. It's also essential to recognize that toxic masculinity harms not just men, but also women and other marginalized groups. When men are pressured to conform to a narrow definition of masculinity, they may feel the need to assert their dominance over others, including women. This can lead to harmful behaviors such as sexual harassment, assault, and domestic violence. In conclusion, it's time to challenge traditional gender roles and stereotypes that limit our understanding of masculinity. Men should embrace their unique qualities, recognize the harm that comes from toxic masculinity, and work towards creating a more inclusive and diverse definition of what it means to be a man. Lesson 4. Women are not objects. The objectification of women is a prevalent issue that is perpetuated by men in society. Women are often portrayed as objects for male gratification, whether it's in advertising, movies, or music videos. However, this harmful behavior doesn't just exist in media. It also manifests in real life, with catcalling, sexual harassment, and assault. It's time for men to recognize that women are not objects but individuals with their own thoughts, feelings, and desires. Treating women as objects reduces them to nothing more than a means to an end, rather than acknowledging their humanity. When men view women solely as objects for their pleasure, they ignore the complexities of women's experiences and their own responsibility to treat women with respect and dignity. This behavior can lead to a lack of empathy and understanding of women's struggles, perpetuating sexism and gender inequality. It's important to recognize that women are not here for men's gratification, but have their own lives, goals, and aspirations. Treating women as equals and with respect starts with recognizing their worth as individuals. Men should listen to women's voices, opinions, and experiences to understand their perspectives and work towards creating a more equitable society. Changing this behavior starts with examining one's own actions and attitudes towards women. Men can take small steps such as avoiding catcalling, respecting women's boundaries, and actively working to understand and respect women's experiences. It's also important to call out harmful behavior when it's witnessed, whether it's among friends, family members, or colleagues. In conclusion, treating women as objects is harmful and perpetuates gender inequality. Men need to recognize that women are not here for their gratification, but as individuals deserving of respect and dignity. By challenging harmful behavior and actively working towards change, we can create a society where women are treated as equals and valued for their unique experiences and contributions.